So at the moment you're aiming to get your financial house in order and you want to know what money mistakes you need to avoid. Well, I have made plenty. So in this video, I'm going to be talking through 8 financial mistakes that I have made in my 20s so that you can avoid them and guarantee yourself success. Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Veronia and on this channel I talk about all things to do with money, your career and having a positive mindset for success. So if that does sound great to you, then be sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell notification below so you don't miss out on any new videos. So I am currently in my mid-20s, but in my early 20s I made a lot of financial mistakes. And to be honest, a lot of it came down to my spending, my mindset and my decisions. So yeah, basically it was a mess. But I'm actually happy that I've made those mistakes because now I'm able to improve on them and actually figure out what's right and what's wrong. But just remember, I'm still not perfect. I know that I'm gonna make mistakes in the future, but I'm doing a lot better than before. So even though these mistakes are probably a bit embarrassing, I do hope it helps at least one of you. So let's get to it. The first money mistake I definitely made was financing my car. And I think some of you probably aren't surprised. So I ended up buying my car on finance, which basically led me to having a negative net worth. Guys, who wants a negative net worth? Besides, cars depreciate like crazy. I wouldn't even be surprised if by the time I left the car dealers, my car would have lost like £1,000 in value. And the worst thing is, I don't think I got an extravagant car. As I said in my debt video, it was a Ford Fiesta, but because it was fairly new, that meant it wasn't cheap either. And guys, please do not do it for the image. It is not worth it, trust me. You can't be chilling in your Mercedes Benz and then you're eating packet noodles every single day because you can't afford anything else. I've got my new BMW. Who wants to go for a ride? How much did it cost? About 30k. Of course I didn't pay cash. What do you think this is? Now, if you do need to buy a car, ideally you want to buy that outright in cash. And that's exactly what I'll be doing next time. But if you can't afford to buy it outright, because obviously a lot of us are young and we just don't have the money at the moment, if you think you have to buy it on finance, first I'll be looking for a car that's affordable. Ideally, I'll be looking at one with a lower interest rate. And lastly, I'll be trying to pay that off as soon as possible. So I'm going to be making overpayments where I can. But if you can actually avoid financing your car, then please do it. The second money mistake I made was using debt to fund my holidays. So in this situation, I wasn't actually using credit cards, but I would be using my student overdraft to fund my holidays. And this was just after I'd left university. So I hadn't even found a graduate job yet and I was going on all these holidays. Please tell me why. Guys, I was broke. I could not afford to go on any holidays at that time. So if you're currently at university or you're just graduating, do not make this mistake, trust me. And if you do feel tempted, please call up Auntie Veronia and ask. In fact, don't even call me Auntie Veronia, call me Auntie V. Every single time you want to spend on your overdraft, just call up Auntie V. Ask her first, just double check. So if you can't pay in cash, you don't go. Yes, business class flights to the Caribbean. Oh, I can't afford that. Now, I know a lot of us do like experiences and we do like to travel a lot, but you do not need to go into debt for that. Just do it the old-fashioned way and save up. The next money mistake I made was spending too much money on eating out. Now, I'm not just talking about restaurants, I'm talking about work as well. Because if you think about it, if you're going to work and you decide to drop by Starbucks or Costa, you're spending a bit of money. And then at lunch, you want to go to a food market, so then you end up spending more. Then later in the afternoon, you might feel a bit peckish, so you go to the supermarket and spend a bit more. And then after work, your colleagues suggest, let's go out for dinner, and then you end up spending more money again. Now, let's say you're doing that Monday to Friday. That is a huge chunk of change. And don't forget about the weekend where your friends want to catch up and they want to go out for dinner as well. So yeah, that is definitely one mistake I would try to avoid. And that is definitely something I have worked on. So in my saving video, I mentioned that I cut down my eating out budget in half. Plus, I always meal prep my lunches for work wherever possible. And then when it comes to the weekend and you want to go out to a restaurant, let me tell you, I'm eating at home first. Because then that means I don't need to go and get a starter, main and dessert all in the same place. I can just go to the restaurant and get a starter or a main. And that is exactly how I've been able to cut my costs when I'm eating out. The only slight problem is when your friends want to split the bill. Right, so I got the calamari, the pizza, the chocolate cake. Veronia, you got the prawns. Do you want to split the bill? Guys, I know it's hard, but sometimes you just have to say no. The fourth financial mistake I made was buying things on sale that I didn't even need. And this happened a lot with online shopping. So when things were on sale, I just had the mindset that they were now cheap and I had to buy them for some reason when I didn't actually need them. So things like swimwear, when I saw them on sale, in my mind, I kept thinking this is the best time to get them because they're going to be cheap, not realizing that I probably won't use half of them. There's a sale on Amazon. I mean, I don't need it, but it's on sale. So my top tip would be to wait at least 72 hours before you make that decision, because usually after a couple of days you realize that you don't actually need it. The fifth money mistake I made was spending my whole paycheck and not saving a penny. By the time it got to the end of the month, my account was always near zero. I did not save any money at all, not a penny, a dime, nothing. So one day one, I would feel rich and it'd be happy days and I'm celebrating. But then by the time it got to day 30, not so much. I was broke. So please don't spend your whole paycheck, learn from my mistakes. The sixth money mistake I had was not having an emergency fund. So because I wasn't saving any money, I of course did not have an emergency fund at all. So if an emergency did happen, for example, my car breaking down and I would need to pay to fix it, I had no money. It's gonna cost how much to fix it? And what happens if I don't? And as I always say, an emergency fund should be one of your top financial priorities. So if you don't currently have one, start saving for it now. And don't panic, because I already have a video on how you can build your emergency fund. So I'll be sure to put the links in the description below. The seventh financial mistake I made was not budgeting. Now, I never used to track my spending and I never even knew how much my bills came to. And because I didn't budget, it meant that it was really hard for me to save any money. So I wasn't telling my money where to go, which is a big problem, because that meant it just went anywhere and I had no control of it. So yeah, that was definitely a major mistake. But I'm sure you guys know that now I budget every single month without fail. So it means I tell my money exactly where to go. Plus, I'm always looking at my bank account and tracking my expenses when possible. And if you are asking, Veronia, how do I even budget? Well, your Auntie V's got you, because yes, I do have 2 budgeting videos as well. So again, links will be in the description below. So the eighth money mistake I made was not educating myself financially. Now, I used to think that people got rich either because they inherited it or they were just lucky. And I didn't realize that normal people could actually build wealth. You just need to be financially educated. And no, they don't teach this in schools, but we do have the internet and you also have books as well. Now, one book I would highly recommend is Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, because that really got me to understand the difference between assets and liabilities and why the rich stay rich and the poor stay poor. Plus, that book really helped me to start shifting my mindset into thinking more about being a producer rather than a consumer. So I'll definitely put that link in the description below for you. But now I try to read as many financial books as I can to increase my financial IQ and my knowledge so that I can also become a better investor as well. And actually, it's not just books, because there are so many free resources online. So again, I also read blogs, I watch YouTube videos, and I also join some Facebook groups as well. So do make sure you are trying to educate yourself financially whenever you can. So if you did like this video, then please do give me a thumbs up, as it does really help to support the channel. And let me know in the comments, because I'd actually like to know, have you made any of these money mistakes before? And what other financial mistakes have you made in the past? I do post every single Friday, so if you would like to know more, then please do subscribe to my channel. And I will see you next Friday.